we saw there. David Brown, I think, probably made about 2,000 of these machines. And going back to France again, I have to keep mentioning it, where our first came was the little Massey Harris pony. Production first started on these, ladies and gentlemen, over in Canada. Didn't go too well. They moved to France. I think they put citron engines in them. And they went a bomb working in between the vine rows. And if you go to France, you'll always notice at the end of a vine row there's a rose. And if the rose starts to feel poorly, showing some sickness, that is what indicates that there's going to be further problems with the vine itself. And then right in front of me now is the little Alice Chalmers bumblebee again, an English built one with a straight front axle. I've seen some English ones with the bow. Went into production at Esseltine, then they moved on to various other models which was never too successful, and sadly the end came. And then we moved up a little bit, the 1957 Power Major. This was where the 1951 post-war Major, they did various improvements on it, power steering, changing the PTO, better hydraulics. And then number 61 going by me, we get two together. The big Power Major, this was restored by Richard and William Hutchinson here before. Real workhorses of British agriculture. Well, we haven't got a Fergie 35 with us, but we've got the 1959 Massey Ferguson 59. This was the last of the traditional Ferguson range. We started with the T20s, then went to the 39, and the larger version here, again with the purple engine. Number 63 in front of the commentary box now is the 1959 Dexter. This was Ford's answer to the little grey Fergie. And they were a good working tractor, believe you me. They certainly earned the keep, so lovely to see one of those. And then, as we said before, it's like waiting for a bus. You wait for half an hour, then two come along, and we've got Mr. Wardle here with the Fergie 65. You can see the slightly styling that was coming later tractors, but the red tin work of the grey engine. Number 65, straight in front of the box now at the moment, another 1959 Power Major. And you can see our friend has done various adaptations to that, additional hydraulics put on it, a real workhorse. Sorry about that, we've just had the organiser come to see me, you know, and now I've got my Fergie 35. Now they first came out, ladies and gentlemen, they came out grey and gold with around Ferguson in 1956, and then 59 this colour there. And now it's a French built one, as we said, and then we've got a Fordson Major there, but on the transfer shore of the restoration. And the latter versions, the Fordson Dexter, complete with the transport box. And we've got the Ian Wild here again with the 1960 Ferguson. They're really throwing them at me, but we've got one a little difference now. Number 70 is one that's converted to four-wheel drive. You will see the shaft coming along from a gearbox under the driver's seat into the front axle there. And we've got the industrial Power Major, a little bit different. This worked down in Bournemouth for many years, and it's got a Cook 2-speed winch, which was probably a Cook on the previous one, which I wasn't sure of. And it was used with a rear loader there, so something rather special on that. Do go down and have a look at it. And then straight in front of me now is the International Harvester B275. The B250s were the first version, slightly smaller, made at the old Jowett factory in Bradford. And then the 275s, and I think it was the 314s came after that. Production was moved to Doncaster. And the red and grey Fergie 35, I say this was the tractor that came up beyond the grey Fergies, introduced 56 first came in. And you'll notice the second one going by Phil and Mr. Beale, the symbol on the side, Ferguson System. Now, I think we did about 80 to 100 variations. Now in front of me again, something a little bit different, with the winch on there, the 1963 Fordson Major with the roadless. They would take a standard tractor from Ford and put in the extra drive, the extra power. Now we mentioned the McCormick, the 275, well here's the 414 version that superseded with the Staffordshire registration. And then 1963, the ultimate, the Super Dexter, belonging to Peter Allen. These eventually, out in 1962 onwards, became the Ford 3000. And a 65 Mark II. You put a wonderful selection of 65s together for it. You don't see that many. The slightly smaller version of the 35 there, all with the Perkins engines. And then creeping by me, another nice tractor, the David Brown, the Implematic. The Implematic was the first systems they put on of the hydraulics, which tended to be a little bit temperamental and was superseded by what they call a Selectomatic. And now we've got the 1964 Major, the new performance. This was the ultimate with a lovely lady driver we've got on there, with the spreader on there. You can see there, tell them straight away with the grey wings on them. And then going by here, a lovely lady here with the Herbert family, the Neil tractor. It was built for his 8-year-old son back in 1966. Realised it was too powerful for a toy and it was taxed and has been doing work in the garden ever since. The Briggs & Stratton engine was replaced by a Honda. Now we've got the Ford 3000 going by us. This was the posh version, the 1965 version of the Super Dexter, which we saw earlier on. You can see the plough there. Then the Nuffield, the Universal 1016, 10 speeds, 60 horsepower, hence the name that it came on there. And then going by me is the Ford 3000. Again, a derivative of the Dexter this was, slightly operated. I think 2000 was the original. The 3000 was based on the Super Dexter. Number 86, sneaking by the commentary box, is the Ford 5000 Electra Speed. That was something that was not too successful. You talk to any driver who had to drive one of those and you got some very rude replies. And going by me now is Martin Law with that beautifully turned out Czechoslovakian Zeta tractors, very well known. Well, the successor to the 65s and the 35s was the Red Giants, and going past me is the 135. These were the first of them. Some of these were made at Coventry and others were made at over in France. The International B450, B-Subs for British, roadless traction. You can see the drive there on the front axle. Now we've got Jenny here. Jenny looks after part of our ploughing section. Lovely to see the ladies here with a Ferguson 135 still in its working clothes. It's lovely to see them like this. They're all lovely. And then going by me is the Ford 4000, which was one of the improved majors, not the Super Major, but they restyled this. You look at the instrumentation on it with the grey mud guards. And now then, what have we got here? The big roadless Ploughmaster. Roadless tractors made down at Onslow. They would just take a skid unit and make them into a superpowered tractor, because it was the coming of the bigger tractors that finished them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I break the 10th commandment when I see this one. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's ox nor his wife, nor Mark Cottrell's lovely big John Deere 5020 with the Detroit engines. Last year John gave me the privilege of driving this machine, and I would love to have this at home. Obviously one of the big prairie tractors over in the States, and was imported into this country back in '59, but